Hey, welcome back to our video series. We're continuing on the doctrine of salvation, and so let's get right into it. We just went over how that the condition of man's condition and how that sin entered into the world, death by sin through Adam and Eve, and then death passed upon all men, and so that brings and because of the law, we now know it gives us a knowledge of sin. It binds us, and there is a penalty for that. And so then we see God's intervention. So man's condition, sinner, God knew that. Here's the most beautiful news, and this is where the great news comes in, the good news, the gospel. God knew that we could not save ourselves. He knew our end, and so he did something about it. He intervened, excuse me. And so we see in Genesis 3, first book of the Bible, if you want to go there, we see the fall, and we see the very first prophecy, really two, if you will, the sacrifice that was made for God clothing them. But in verse 15, he's bringing judgment um, um, to the serpent, and he says in verse 15, "And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel." So there's a picture there of the crucifixion of Christ. Satan is going to try to attack Christ, but will not be successful. And then Christ rises from the dead. But a picture there. So God had a plan in place, and then through the seed of the woman, and so then in Romans 5:8, we know God commended His love toward us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. So He knew we could not save ourselves. So he did something about it. He's not waiting for us to clean ourselves up. We can't. We learned that last lesson. We're bound by it. So we must accept that and accept the help of the one who came and died for us. God commended, he demonstrated, he proved his love toward us in that while we were yet sinners, he intervened. Christ died for us. And then all the way in Titus, towards the back of the Bible here in the New Testament, Timothy, Titus, chapter 2, and verse 11. It says, "For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world, looking for that blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great God and our Savior, Jesus Christ, who gave himself for us that he might redeem us from all iniquity." We'll see that word redeem. "And purify unto himself a peculiar people, zealous of good works." So the grace of God, it's only by his grace. We see that in Ephesians chapter 2, Ephesians, Galatians, Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 8. It says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith." Here it is. "And that not of yourselves." And that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. So it is not of ourselves. God intervened. He knew our condition, number one, and he intervened on our behalf. And then we know John 3:16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." God must judge sin. And so the way he does that, as we saw earlier, is through death. And there will come a final judgment one day. because God is holy. He is set apart. He is without sin, and he cannot look on sin. So he has to judge it, and he knew that he had to judge it, and so he set up a plan. He set up a way that he could his wrath could be appeased, and we'll get to that when we talk about propitiation. That's a great word. It means satisfactory payment. God was pleased with the payment of his son. And so God set up this plan in place to pay for the sins uh, of man. And so that is our great God and our Savior. God intervened on our behalf. So he provided the way. He provided the way. Now, over these next multiple videos, we're going to be talking about what happened. And I encourage you, if you're watching these videos and you're curious about salvation, a lot of these videos are for the believer. But if you are questioning, where am I going to go when I die? I am bound by sin. Is there a way out? Yes, Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. And also there will eventually be a testimony video set up to where you can watch that and understand my testimony, how I got saved, how I accepted Christ. I accepted that payment, and my life was changed, and yours can be too. And so once that happens, once we accept that payment, there are some things that happen. Now, all of them really happen at once, but we're just trying to go down the line here and understand each of some of these words in doctrine, so we can know and be in, and what's the title of the series? Getting grounded. We can be grounded in what we believe based upon the Bible. And the first of those words is justification. Now, I'll gloss over it because we're finishing up this video here. But justification means to justify, and to justify means to declare righteous. Now, in order for us to stand before God with a right standing, we have to be declared righteous. As we learned in our last video, because of our condition, it can't be by the works of the law, and we'll see that in our next video. So it can't be by something we do. And this whole world is filled with people trying to figure out how they can please God. Again, we have to get to that condition and understand I can't please God in and within myself. I need the righteousness of someone else. And that's what justification is, and really imputation, as we'll go over, those kind of go hand in hand, where Christ imputes or puts his righteousness to our account so we can have a right standing before God. So we're going to get into those words as we get into the next videos. Again, I hope you're enjoying these, and we look forward to the next one. Thank you so much for joining us.